She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her. She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her. There must be something about her features. You'll find her beauty goes much deeper once you get to meet her.
Hey guys, so it's midterm season for me and I didn't feel like vlogging because I was just way too busy and stressed out, but I did manage to record a lot of time lapses of me doing various assignments, preparing for my exams, and taking notes, and also relaxing and playing a game called Happy Color, which you'll see later on. So I hope you enjoy this time-lapse compilation. So in this clip, I'm rewriting my lecture notes for discrete math because that really helps me solidify my understanding of the concepts. I know that this is considered passive learning instead of active learning, but I like to save my active learning for exam prep, and I find that if I don't rewrite my notes, then I just don't have a good understanding of the topics, and then I have to spend more time exam prepping, so this is just what works for me. And then in this clip, I'm just working on some social media stuff for a student org. I really love graphic design and digital art and all of that, and I'm so glad that I get to put that to use even during the school year. And then in this clip, I was working on an assignment for discrete math, which I hate doing because it takes so long, but I will admit that the process of going through these problems and finding similar problems in the textbook to practice with really helps. I'm pretty sure I was still working on my discrete math homework here, but I was sitting on the floor, and I find that switching up where I sit throughout the day while I'm doing my work really helps me stay focused and on task. And here I was working on an essay for my entrepreneurship class, which is actually one of my favorite classes this semester. For essays in general, I like to make an outline first of all the points that I want to touch on in the essay, and then I start writing. So this is the app Happy Color that I was talking about before, and it's so relaxing. It's honestly one of my new favorite ways to de-stress. It's basically like color by number, except instead of filling in pixels, you actually just tap on each region and it fills it in. And the hard part is finding all of the small little areas that are really hard to see. So in this clip, I was working on a presentation for the research lab that I'm in this semester. I actually ended up switching to a new research lab this semester, and I'm definitely a lot more happy about this semester's research project. So I'm back to rewriting my lecture notes, and the app that I use to take all of my notes is GoodNotes, and I'm using the ball pen in 0.5 millimeters, and the paper size that I'm using is letter. These next few clips are just of me rewriting my lecture notes, so instead of explaining that again, I guess I will talk a little bit about my classes this semester and how I feel about them. So the class that I probably spend the most time on is discrete math, and that's because all of our homework assignments are graded for accuracy, which I think is really dumb, but that's how a lot of college classes are, at least at U of M. And there's 2 midterms for that class, one of which is in a week from today when I'm recording this voiceover, and the other one is in March, and then there's a final in April. So it's literally just 3 months of testing, so it's kind of a lot. Honestly though, I actually really like the content in this class. I was expecting to not like it because It's a class that's required for the CS major at U of M, and a lot of students who took this class in the past told me that it had nothing to do with any of the other CS classes, but I actually find it really, really interesting. I'm not very good at it and it doesn't really come naturally to me, but it's definitely something that I'm interested in, and therefore it makes it a little more enjoyable. Oh, by the way, the iPad that I'm using is the iPad Air 3rd generation, which came out in 2019, and it has a 10.5-inch screen, and I just have the base model, which is a 64 gig one, and then I'm using the Apple Pencil 1st generation. And all of my tech specs are in the descriptions of every single video that I post, in case you're wondering. But anyway, the next class that I'm taking is my programming class, and it's definitely a step up from the intro to programming class that I took last semester. And it takes a lot more time and a lot of effort, so that's also a huge time commitment for me this semester. And I'm back to playing Happy Color. Unfortunately, I got a bit of an ad in the time lapse at the beginning, which is kind of annoying. But anyway, the next class that I'm taking is my Intro to Engineering class that's required for all College of Engineering students at U of M. And the section that I'm in is the Weather Station one, which wasn't my first choice, but it was the only one that worked with my schedule and with class openings and all of that. So it is what it is, but I'm pretty indifferent towards this class. It's not a lot of work, it's just that the labs are really long and they are right after the discussion, so that's a total of 3 hours that I have to spend for that class in the span of one day, which is a lot, especially since those hours are back to back. So in this clip, I'm writing in my journal because I got some really exciting news that day and I just really wanted to write about it. I was going to journal every single day, and it was one of my New Year's resolutions, but I found that just journaling when something good or something bad happens to me just works best for me, because then I'm able to process my emotions. And I'm back to playing Happy Color because I am obsessed with Happy Color. But the next class I'm taking is my Entrepreneurship Class, and it's about ethics in startups and businesses in general. And I find this class very interesting, and it's definitely one of my favorites. It's not a lot of work, and it's just a few papers that we have to write throughout the semester, so it's very manageable. I'm also taking 2 seminars that I was taking last semester as well. One is for research and one is for the residence program that I'm in, which I plan on making a whole video about, so that will be coming out later. And I was talking to my friend about starting a rant series on this channel called Rishma's Rants. I have a lot of stories and a lot of rants and unpopular opinions, so I just really want to make videos about that. And right now I have a lot of video ideas and not enough time, so that's why I've been sticking to just vlogs and time lapses and occasionally a real-time study with me. So I'm gathering information to include in an infographic that I was going to make for Student Org's Instagram. So in this clip, I am working on a discrete math homework assignment. I remember struggling with this one quite a bit, which really sucked. And here I am typing up some lecture notes for my programming class. and I'm back to working on my homework assignment for discrete math. Anyway, I hope that this time-lapse compilation was motivating or at least satisfying, and thank you so much for watching.